Yet another cast on, another version of a long tail cast on. I've started here with a simple slip knot. This cast on could probably be done without this slip knot, but I'm going to start it this way. And I have two yarns, as I said, a long tail and the ball of the yarn. And let's see how this cast on works. This cast on was talked about by by Craig H on Ravelry, and I'll put a link to, oops, I'm going to turn this around so I have the tail to the front and the ball yarn to the back. We're going to start with a slingshot or a long tail cast on, but then we're going to vary it. We're going to undo the thumb and redo it so it's wrapped twice. I'm going to stick the needle in to the double loop on the thumb, pick up a stitch, come back out between the two stitches. You see that? It's between the two stitches. Now as I tighten it up, I bring this yarn round and snug it up. Let's do that again. A long tail hold, reverse the wrap on the thumb so that there's a double wrap. Go under both wraps, pick up a stitch, come back out between the double wraps, wrap the yarn around, and gently snug up. Double wrap, under both, pick up a stitch, come between the double wrap, and bring the double wrap around. Now, before I tighten this one up, I want to look and let's see what this cast on consists of. So we have a stitch that's a wrap stitch. It's sort of an E, but it's not quite. It's more that this yarn is wrapped around this stitch. But there's something else going on, and that's a little harder to see. Let me bring it down here, and I'm going to make this a little looser so that you can see it. These two yarns at the bottom are twisted. They have, let's put it there, they have a figure 8 twist. So we have a twist at the bottom and a stitch that has a noose around it. And then as we tighten it up, tighten it up. But no matter how tight you try and tighten this up, you're going to have that twist at the bottom, and the twist at the bottom is going to automatically make this cast on inherently stretchier and looser. And I'm going to actually spend a few minutes. Now, the second thing that happens is you have this lovely, let's ignore this one. You have these lovely little noose stitches that are quite pretty. So into the double wrap, pick up the stitch, come out between the two, take this step yarn and bring it round, and then work the two stitches gently and snug it up so that we have a snugged up stitch. And I'm going to get this one a little tighter, and that wrap stitch creates a noose, and on the back it sort of looks like a long tail, but not quite. So again, double wrap into here, between, pull it round. Oh, this one's perfect. See, there's that beautiful double figure 8 stitch at the bottom, and that twist between the tail and the ball of yarn, because this is obviously the ball of yarn, so what we made this stitch with, create a beautiful amount of ease in this cast on. This cast on, if you've done the Channel Island cast on, you'll recognize is very similar to the Channel Island cast on. Channel Island cast on also has this same double wrap, has this same under both, bring it round, but the Channel Island cast on, you keep this yarn in the back, and then to bring it to the front, you bring this under here and around here, so that once again we have the tail yarn in front and this in back, and we make a yarn over. So in the Channel Island cast on, there are alternate stitches that are double wrapped, creating a noose both front and back, and yarn overs. But the twist here in the yarn is twisted. So when you bring this yarn that is the ball yarn, because right now we've ended up with tail yarn in the Channel Island and back. When you bring ball yarn under and over, you create a twist in the yarn. We're creating a twist in a totally different way. I'm going to undo this, and I haven't quite figured out where the twist comes from. All I know is twice around the thumb, out and between. Oh, here's where the twist comes from, because I'm moving the yarn. So what happens is we get a noose and a twist. The bottom has a very interesting sort of edge. I have not yet worked this as a bit of knitting, but I know from my experiences with doing a number of cast-ons that the way I make a stretchy cast-on, and there are several various ways of making stretchy cast-ons, all of them involve yarn that has an extra twist in it. And this has an extra twist over a standard long tail, and it has an extra twist very similar to a Channel Island, and it has a different twist, but a German or twisted or a Norwegian twisted or a German twisted or whatever you want to call twisted cast on is also known to be a stretchier cast on because it has an extra twist. In that case, the extra twist is in the tail yarn. This case, the extra twist is between the two yarns together. So again, 1, 2, under both, pick up one, come out between the two, bring this to the back, because that belongs in the back, snug up the stitch. 1, 2, pick up the stitch, snug up the stitch. And always we end up with the tail yarn in the front, unlike a Channel Island. So the movement is slightly different. Oh wait, I did that wrong. Let me do that again. 1, 2, under both, between, so that it comes this way, snug up. Under both, between, and over, and this way. Under both, and actually I see now as I practice it, this motion of bringing this back is part of that basic stitch, and I still have the important thing, which is the twisted stitches or twisted yarns at the base of the stitch, and this is what's going to create your stretchiness in your cast on. And as you see, it's pretty loose, and when you're working this to stretch it up, you're going to actually work both yarns, and you're going to snug it up, and stitches are going to be pretty close together, but because of that twist, they're going to stretch out a good deal on your needle, and they're going to stretch out a good deal in your knitting. And if you didn't tighten them nearly as much, if you made them slightly looser, it would be stretchier still. But this is one of those cast-ons that you don't have to work too hard to keep loose to still have a stretchy cast-on. So thank you, David, over on Ravelry, and thank you to your mother for teaching you this, and thank you for adding another stitch to our repertoire. Bye-bye.